float. Always work on floating to your higher self, whether it's in your business, whether it's in
Mm-hmm.
your relationships, your friendships, you as a parent, as an entrepreneur. Always continue to work on floating to your higher self.
Welcome to Bliss Talk. Got caught up for the conversation with T. Walker, but we are gonna end this thing right because we were having such a dope conversation. We talked about his float single. You guys really need to check that out because not only is it talking about some real stuff in there, not only does it have real content in it, but it's actually a really, really dope song. And he talked about how David Banner actually made a comment about how even though you're being conscious with your material, still got to have a banger, still got to have some people can vibe to. And I think he definitely accomplished that with his single Float that is out now. We talked about the Black Parent Box with him and his wifey Chelsea are working on together, and that's going to be dope as well. It's going to be materials that self-care materials that they're going to be getting from different local Black businesses and giving it to their. Hey, we're back up here. I'm doing a quick recap. So I was telling them about your single Float, which is dope, and it's everything. It's got the content in there, and it's also a banger. And then we talked about the Black Parent Box, which you and Chelsea are doing together, which is really dope because you're going to have different Black businesses kind of, so they'll be able to sell their products inside of your packages that you're giving, like it's a subscription-based type of thing. We talked about your 5-year celebration with Soul Society, the new gear that you have in those packages. They're really, really dope. I love the way they look. We talked about your eulogy and, how you kind of learned some new things about yourself while you were given the opportunity to do that for a friend. We talked about lenses, how we're seeing things now that we're older from a different lens and perspective and point of view. And then we talked about family and how you're getting ready to embark on this journey of fatherhood. You and Chelsea are about to be parents, which is really dope because your child is going to be surrounded by all this Black excellence. And the very last thing that I want to talk to you about or get some insight on is some keys and concepts that you would pass along. I'm sure you have a bunch, something that, you feel like our listeners can take away and really incorporate into their daily.
Yeah, one is stay ready so you ain't got to get ready. You know what I mean? That's just staying constantly prepared. And even though you feel like you're prepared for something, there might always be something that's thrown at you. Nonetheless, stay ready for whatever, may happen. Like I was discussing, with learning how to host different events or do things differently. Along this 5-year journey, I've been in places and the musician didn't show up, or the music went out, or an artist didn't show up, and we've had to, switch things up. So I would say stay ready so you ain't got to get ready.
Mm-hmm.
If there's something that you feel like somebody isn't doing right for you, learn how to do it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
When you ask me who created that cover art for you, I created it because sometimes I get impatient with waiting on somebody to execute an idea the way that I need to execute it, or in the same with the clothing. So teach yourself how to do some things. I learned how to build websites out of necessity because I didn't have the money that I paid somebody to build it. So I learned how to do it. So, and I suggest that for any entrepreneur, like before you take the steps to even build a team, try some of these things out so that you not only know what it is you need, but you know what you need these people on your team to really be doing and executing.
Right.
Because you've done it before, so you know what this looks like. You know what the website should look like. You know what this flyer should look like. You know what them being at the door, should look like. You know what all of these things look like because you've done it before.
Right.
So not overexert yourself. Know, and also, realize when you need to pull back, and then build your team along. Those have been some of the most major keys for me. There's a lot of other ones that me and my brother, discuss, all the time. Time management is major. Like me and you discussed before how sometimes I'm all over the place with things. Nowadays I have a whiteboard so that I write the things out that I need to do during the week, and I can check them off as I go to make sure. And it's right beside, I usually either have it right beside my door, so when I'm walking out of my room, I'm looking at it, or right beside my bed. So before I get in the bed, I'm looking directly at it to see, did I do that today? Okay, I need to do that tomorrow. Did I do that today? I either need to do it now or tomorrow. So keeping those bullet points, those have been some major keys for me, and some shifters, as far as my productivity. It's helping me to be more purposeful with my productivity. Before I was getting a lot of things done, but I might have forgotten to do this thing, and that might be something that I needed to do. Now that I can be more purposeful with my productivity. So those are some of my major keys.
That is
for the moment. Definitely
some good keys to have. Stay ready so you don't have to get ready. I love that you have your whiteboard and you're writing stuff on there, because that's kind of how I operate too. You're always looking at it, and because I get anxiety when stuff is not done, and it's hard to keep up with if it's just in your head. Write it down somewhere so you can cross it off. And it's also a buzz that you get when everything is crossed off on there. You know what I mean?
Right. Yes. It's Tuesday, and I done knocked out half the list at least.
Right.
Bet, and sometimes, like, I ain't gonna lie, like, I like to work and I like to get things done, but like, I kind of like just chilling sometimes too. So like, the rush for me is like, bet, like, when I'm on go, I'm on go. I'm talking like, even if it's a matter of just cleaning up my house, like, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna watch it go. Whatever I'm doing it all at once. I get it done. Cause when I'm chilling, I like to chill. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, listen, I'm done. Like, I'm done for the day. I'm done for, and of course, we always have the devices. So even when I say I'm done for the day, I'm like, well, I can do the stuff that I can at least do on my phone. I can work on merchandise. I can do some marketing. But yeah, the rush of accomplishing those things, that's like, those are the minor successes that people need, so that they can make the greater successes, and I like making those minor successes. And people have always told me that I needed to get better organized. When I would tell them how I organize, people would be like, how do you get all these things done? I'm like, it's just in my head, Then they're like, man, you better get you a calendar. You better write some of this stuff down. And I'm like, nah, I got it. And then I would find myself, like, when I'm about to go to sleep, like, damn, I didn't do this. And I'll do it, or even having discussions with you when I'm like, especially right after the tour, when I was like, I'm just tired, and it was mostly because I didn't organize in the way that I needed to do things, or I could have even better managed my time and made sure I didn't burn out or get close to burnout. So organization is key.
I'm glad that, because me and you, we use the what is that, the Google Calendar or whatever. And so we both can see that. We both have the app on our phone. And so that's a great tool for anyone who's into organizing or have to have a schedule that you have to create where everyone can see it. That's something that you can pick up on, because T.O. put somebody in the schedule and we don't even have to converse. I can just see. I hadn't talked to you like in a month, but I can see what you're putting on the schedule for me. And so that works, that's key to organization as well. Let's see, is there any last thoughts that we want to put out there in the universe tonight on Bliss Talk?
Any last thoughts? Float. Just continue to float. Always work on floating to your higher self, whether it's in your business, whether it's in your relationships, your friendships, you as a parent, as an entrepreneur. Always continue to work on floating to your higher self. And that can be a small thing, which is a major thing to me. But some people, it could be just a simple communication. It could be simply telling somebody, thank you. I make it a point to tell people thank you. I don't care who it is. If it's, somebody at a restaurant that bring me something, thank you. I appreciate that. Because I like for people to feel appreciated. I want people to know that, like, I'm not taking what you're doing for granted. You brought me some napkins. I appreciate that. You refilled my drink. I appreciate that. You held the door, and even though I had to jog to catch it, I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the case may be, you know. So, and I feel like that gratitude constantly elevates you.
It does.
You know, it constantly elevates you, or you'll get that energy back.
Right.
You know, which is even sometimes when people thank me for certain things, and I'm like, for what? You know, but I know that it's a reciprocal of energy that I gave to other people.
Yeah.
You know, and it could be a well-deserving thank you at the same time. Nonetheless, they didn't have to show me that gratitude, but I showed it to someone else. You know, and they showed it right back to me. You know, so that's it right there. Float to your higher self. If anybody wants to check out University.com, get some of this fly, you know, merch that we have, the Soul Society 5-year celebration package, and all of that merch is on pre-sale now until September 12th. That'll, you know what I mean, be that. Next time you'll get the 10-year celebration, you know, but we have this as limited edition until September 12th. And whatever you listen to music on, go check out Float. And I will leave you with this also. So with each of the merchandise that I have coming out now, or that we have coming out now, I'm going to be releasing Spotify playlists to go along with them. Wow. So I'm already creating the Black Love is Revolutionary playlist to go with it. You know what I mean? Just because, I mean, I love listening to music. You know, sometimes I'm in dead silence, but now that I'm like in the completion process of my music project, I'm back to listening to music again. So I'm creating these different playlists. There'll be a self-care is revolutionary playlist, the Black Love is Revolutionary playlist, the Heavy Energy playlist. So there's going to be a number of different playlists that I'm sending out, you know, for people to check out to go along with the merchandise, because I love creating experiences. I don't like just creating clothing or just creating music or just creating events. I love creating experiences. So if people can experience something and it be memorable and it can stick with them, then that's one of my successes right there.
Absolutely. That's dope. There's something that I wanted to leave the people with tonight too, because you were talking about, you know, gratitude and saying thank you. And you all know Brooke is online here too. And when you guys like are so helpful with the Bliss Talk, I'm always like, thank you thank you so much, you know, because like you said, it's an energy type thing. What's up, Anna? What's up, Courtney?
What's happening?
But also, like when you talk to people too, like as soon as you come on Bliss Talk, I'm like, hey, like it's the organic, like, how are you doing? Like, I haven't seen you in a while. You know, I get kind of feedback like, why are you so chipper? Like, why are you so happy all the time? Because that's the energy that I want to put out there and then also get back. You know what I mean? So I think it's always important to operate on that frequency, the frequency that you put out there, and keeping in mind the frequency that you would like to get back. Because, you know, my saying is, you know, if I don't do it to you, don't do it to me. It's a respect type of thing, you know?
Right.
Give each other that respect, especially in our community. You know, we can all operate at a high frequency if we come at it from like a more loving and positive energy and attitude. Would you agree?
Absolutely. I agree so much, you know, that I guess it's in my spirit to, you know, just speak to people, you know, like you said, even when they come on, but I might see somebody in the store and be like, how you doing? How you feeling?
Yeah.
And, you know, they used to how you doing. So sometimes people can be like, fine, and keep walking. If I say, how you feeling? You know, then, you know what I mean? They can say the same thing, but it doesn't register the same way.
Yeah.
So now their default response is instantly it's discombobulated a little bit, you know, or I make it a point, you know, when people say, how you doing today? You know, some people just say, fine, I'm okay. I'm like, amazing. I'm amazing. Yeah. I feel good, you know. So, and it's been so crazy that when we were in South Carolina, bro said that to somebody and the guy didn't even know how to respond. He was just like, I'm super good. Yeah, like he didn't even know how to respond, but he wanted to match that intensity. You know what I mean? Just the simpleness of saying, I'm amazing. I feel great today. Yeah. You know, whether he was feeling that way or whether he was trying to speak it into existence, that other person had to match that intensity. And that's the energy I'm talking about reciprocating, you all the time. You never know when it's going to happen.
I used to work behind a register, and there was this one woman that would come in, and she always seemed down or grumpy. You know what I mean? And I'm doing my job, so I'm on autopilot or whatever. But one day, I just decided to speak to her, and I kind of looked at her, and I saw that she was wearing a necklace around her neck, and it had like a motorcycle on it. And I asked her about her motorcycle because my dad, he likes to drive like Honda motorcycles and stuff. But I was like, I really like your necklace. So you drive a Honda or whatever? And her face lit up. Like I've never seen her face lit up, because I noticed something about her that maybe nobody had noticed before, and that was something she was into. That's something that she really liked and enjoyed. And so we kind of sparked the conversation that way. There was another time where I was at a gas station. It was like an older lady, and she was also always grumpy when people walk in there. I would have friends that would be like, I don't like that lady. Like, I do not like her. But one day I was just like, are you getting off soon? Like, I know you got to be tired. And so her face lit up, like somebody noticed her attitude, that she was operating at a different frequency, and noticed it and acknowledged it and just talked to her. And it probably made her day for the rest of the day, So there's always ways that we can help each other switch that attitude or switch that frequency if we acknowledge each other,
Stuff like that counts.
It counts.
And like you said, you were able to fully experience it through that person. And I remember just the other day across the street, I was, getting a chicken Philly. And this lady comes in with this dope Norfolk State shirt on. And, she has some fire earrings. I'm like, yo, I like your shirt and your earrings. And, when she came in there, she didn't look happy. Nonetheless, like you can't tell somebody's mood just off of their face. But I felt her mood lift, just by that. And what I was interesting about, like, even the dynamic between, men and women sometimes, I'll like compliment them. I love your hair. I like your earrings. And sometimes you can tell like that the dynamic has been so screwed up sometimes that, like the compliment can be taken extremely well, or it can be like, all right, what does this dude want from me? And sometimes I don't want anything other than to compliment you. And I don't take it personally. I just understand that this dynamic has been screwed up so much. And, it's part of my job to fix it, at the same time, so I don't stop it. It makes me want to do it more. Like, your hair looks nice today. I like your smile, and it's not disrespectful to my queen, because we compliment people whenever we, see people, just to like be an energy shift in a room. But again, like me seeing that, sometimes I can be like, dang, it's a real messed up dynamic out here, and it's not my fault. It's not her fault. But, it is my job to make sure that my energy is felt, and going about my business. I don't got to be there for a survey, but I do love bringing a certain type of energy into a space.
Absolutely. One more thing before we cap off that topic is I had heard a comedian talk about, people from his hood and stuff like that. Like, they don't like you to look at them. They like, if you're looking at them, it's like, what do you want? Like, what the hell are you looking at me like? What's up? And he said that they do that because they feel like you can see right through them. You can see their struggle. You can see that they haven't paid their car note in how long, or, they're struggling right now. So they feel like if you're looking at them, you can see all of that, And so he said he makes it a point to really say, how are you doing? How are you feeling? Like, to spread that positive energy. And I was like, I've noticed that, if I'm looking, especially when I was younger, like in high school and stuff like that, you just looking at someone to say how you doing or whatever, they're kind of like shut down, so to speak, or they have this attitude about them. And I always be like, well, I ain't gonna do that again, But now I'm looking at it like, I need to like just keep my same energy. Like, I need to just be the person I am, because that's what's going to make the shift. That's what's going to change the world, is by you being exactly who you are. And hopefully people can follow that, or not feel as strange when people just genuinely want to know how you're doing it, or people just being genuine in person, that there's actually genuine people out there,
Yeah, that's interesting you said that. I've never thought about that, you know. And while I was living in Wilmington, Delaware, it's one of the top 3 myrtle capitals for small cities.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I would go there every summer because that's where my dad lives. But I ended up moving there after I dropped out of college. You know, when I was there, and the first thing I did was I printed up 100 copies of my mixtape. And I was used to being in Wilmington, you know, Delaware, but I was walking around just throughout the city, you know, passing out my CD to different people, speaking to different people. Sometimes I got crazy looks. Sometimes people like spoke back, and then, you know, you have your black man head nod, you know what I'm saying, what's good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And people responded to it, but it would be so crazy because some people would be like, bruh, you just walk around here passing out CDs, like, bruh, like, we don't want to see you on the news. And I'm like, I'm in good spirits, bro. Like, I ain't tripping. And of course, other people have been in good spirits, but nonetheless, I was just giving off good energy, and I didn't necessarily feel that danger. And maybe it's because I'm risky, you know, at the same time. So like, I wasn't necessarily afraid, but like, I was still coming with a good energy, and I got good responses. And it was certain people that would be like, yo, I listened to the CD. Or it was a dude that I saw one time on the corner. He was breaking up weed on my joint. And he was like, no disrespect, bro. I'm like, none taken. It's being of good use to you.
Right.
So, you know, I ain't even tripping, you know. Less up, you know, and kept it going. But that was the reason why he doubled back and listened to it, which was crazy. But it was the energy, which is why I created Heavy Energy. You know what I mean? It's about the energy you give. It coming back reciprocal full form. But yeah, that's it. I ain't gonna, you know what I mean, chat your head off on it.
That's all right. We made up for lost time because the whole thing cut out. But now we have like a really dope conversation to throw up there on YouTube. You guys can check out Bliss Talk at blisstalkshow.life. You can also check out our YouTube. Please make sure you subscribe. We're sitting at 24 subscribers right now, so please help me get those numbers up. And
what's the goal number? The
goal number, we want to try to hit 100 by October. So
I bet.
I feel like we can do that. You know, we've been getting good responses. Nonetheless, people really sound like they really enjoyed the conversation. So I want to thank you guys for supporting it, for buying your Bliss Talk t-shirts. That's been love. Seeing people in the t-shirts, like, you remember when we first started this, and so that's been something like that I've been really proud of. But yeah, you guys can also, if you haven't got a Bliss Talk t-shirt, you can order them. They're available right now. Our black t-shirts are all sold out right now, but we still got the white and we still got the kiwi green. So go check it out. Check it out.
For sure.
All right. So that was it for Bliss Talk tonight. Thank you guys for coming through. Thank you, T.
No doubt. I appreciate it.
Congratulations on everything. Tell Chelsea I said hello, and I'm proud of her, and congratulations too, because she just finished her program, right?
Yes, indeed. Dr. Cromartie.
Dr. Cromartie. That is Black excellence. Y'all better do it. Keep going.
For sure. I appreciate you.
Thank you. Until our meeting next time, take care.
Indeed. Peace, peace.